Hello and welcome to another video from StartingKarting. Today we're going to give you a quick guide on how to start your journey. I'll show you some clips of racing, we'll talk about some advantages and disadvantages of these two styles of karting. Let's get straight into it. There's two ways to get into the sport. The first one is rented karting, meaning you don't own your own kart, but instead you go to a local kart track, typically indoor, and you rent their karts and have a blast around their track. The other way is ownership karting, meaning you've bought your own kart, you've bought all the equipment needed to run it, and you take it up and down the country to race at different circuits. So how would you choose between rental karting and owning your own kart? Well, to put it bluntly, it's time and it's money. Let's start with rental karting, and money plays a little role. You can try a session right now at your local karting track for around £20 to £35, depending on what format you choose and how long you're racing for. These rental kart tracks are open 7 days a week and open from around 12 in the afternoon up until late. And what you'll find is that rental karting is simply much cheaper than owning your own kart. I'm going to do a separate video for the financial side of karting, but generally speaking the cost depends on how seriously you take it and how often you're attending the track. Rental karting doesn't take up much of your spare time. These sessions typically last from 20 minutes to an hour-ish, unless you're doing an endurance race. Some tracks will even have a league available. You need to ask the staff about this or check out your local track's website. Up next, we'll talk about owning your own kart, but first, here's a lap of Teamsport in Sheffield. Clearly, I had a nightmare this day. Some kart tracks mix groups, and if you go racing on your own like I do sometimes, you might get chucked in with a bunch of novices. It's safe to say I didn't really enjoy this session as much as what I normally do. So why would you choose rental karting over owning your own kart? Well, it's much cheaper, and as a result, you can race more often. You don't need to worry about the maintenance of the kart, as the track marshals will do that for you. You don't need to buy a helmet and gloves and a suit unless you really want to. It's a fun and pleasant atmosphere. It's not taken too seriously unless you're racing in a championship or a league. And if you don't have a lot of spare time or you don't want to spend a full weekend at the track, then choose rental karting. If you do fancy owning your own kart one day, the rental karting should be tried first so that you can gain some valuable experience. So we've looked at rental karting, now let's take a look at owning your own kart. Owning your own kart requires you to take karting much more seriously than rental karts. These machines are not toys and are not robust enough to take an impact on a constant basis. They will break and you will have to replace the broken parts with sweat, tears and money. And that's why everyone should at least have a couple of practice sessions at a rental track before you go out and buy a car and all the equipment, because it is expensive. In fact, you're probably looking somewhere in the region of £3,000 to £5,000 to buy a kart alone. And that's not all. You'll need a helmet, you'll need a race suit, fuel every single weekend, a van or a stator car big enough to carry the kart, the spares and all the tools, including hammers, spanners, sprockets, tyres, axles, track rods, bumpers, side pods. That's just to name a few. This car has a KZ2 engine. These engines are available and raced all over the world, and they're one of the fastest and most competitive classes, although there are many classes available. The KZ2 car is a 2-stroke engine with a 6-speed gearbox and 45 horsepower. But rest assured it's not a toy. Let's watch this super quick lap. let's recap then, and I'll finish off with this. There are two ways to start karting: rental karts and owning your own kart. Rental karts are cheaper and owning your own is more expensive. You must dedicate time if you want to own your own kart, whereas with rental karting, not so much. Thanks for watching. If you think this video might help someone take the next steps, then make sure you share this video with them.